This video demonstrates qualitative familiarization, coding, codebook revision, themes, patterns, exceptions, and ethical traceability. Before assigning codes, read all 14 transcripts once. The first reading is for context. Notice the situations, tasks, repeated words, surprising moments, and gaps in the material. Write first impressions in a separate memo so they do not become codes automatically. For this case, a first impression might be that students often checked information before trusting it. That is a question for later comparison, not a final theme. Familiarization helps us avoid building an analysis around the first dramatic quote we see. Consider this excerpt from participant 3. I searched for the volunteer event. The card showed Friday, but I could not tell if it was this Friday. I opened the group page to check. Once I saw the same time there, I signed up. We can annotate the task as finding a volunteer event. The action is opening a second source. The reason stated is uncertainty about the date. The evaluation is that matching information supported sign-up. The unresolved ambiguity is whether the second check was caused by Campus Link's wording, the student's normal habit, or the importance of the event. We record those possibilities separately from the words in the transcript. A meaningful data unit is a statement or short episode that expresses one relevant idea. Keep each unit connected to its participant label, transcript location, and surrounding context. In participant 3's excerpt, the card showed Friday, and I opened the group page to check can be separate units because one describes information and the other describes an action. Do not split the material so finely that the meaning disappears. Do not combine an entire interview into one code. A useful unit is small enough to compare and large enough to preserve the participant's meaning. A code is a concise label attached to a meaningful data unit. A good early code describes what is present in the evidence. Rechecks event details is descriptive. Does not trust technology is broader and already interprets a cause. Add a confirmation screen is a design solution, not a code. Codes are provisional. They can change when we compare more participants or discover that one label is covering two different ideas. Our initial codebook can begin with 4 provisional codes. The codebook should also state what does not count. A student who checks a detail because it is personally important may still fit rechecks details, but a general comment about liking the app does not fit unless it describes a checking action. Qualitative coding involves judgment. 2 people may read the same sentence and notice different meanings. Each coder first applies the codebook independently. The coders then compare their decisions. Differences show where a definition, inclusion rule, exclusion rule, or code needs revision. After coding, compare codes across participants. Related codes can be grouped into a provisional cluster. Rechecks details and seeks confirmation both describe verification before commitment. Delays completion belongs only when uncertainty produces the delay. The cluster label should describe the relationship in the evidence rather than assume a cause or solution. One possible theme is uncertainty during first use. It is supported by several codes. Participant 3 rechecks the event date. Participant 6 seeks confirmation from a friend. Participant 11 delays completion when the request status is unclear. Participant 12 rereads the instructions before joining a study group. These examples come from different participants and different tasks, but they share a moment in which students hesitate before commitment. A theme is stronger when it explains the relationship among several codes and remains connected to source evidence. We should still test it against every interview. Do not stop when a theme sounds convincing. Build a pattern table. Record how many participants support it, which codes support it, and in what contexts it appears. For example, the verification pattern appears in 9 of 14 interviews. It appears most often during first use and when students were making a commitment such as signing up or sending a request. It is less common for students who had prior experience with similar apps. Also record cases that complicate the pattern. A pattern is not only repetition, it includes its boundaries, conditions, and counter-evidence. Participant 8 is an important exception. Participant 8 found a study group, joined it, and finished the task without rechecking or asking for help. Participant 8 had used a similar app for 2 years and said the goal was low risk because the student could leave the group later. This case does not erase the pattern. It suggests alternative explanations. Prior experience may reduce uncertainty, and task consequences may affect how much checking feels necessary. The exception helps the team ask whether the pattern is about first use, familiarity, perceived risk, or some combination. A supported pattern can inform a design question. The verification pattern might lead to how could Campus Link make important event details and action status easier to confirm during first use? That is a useful direction for design research. It is not yet a requirement or a final solution. The theme does not prove that every student needs the same interface. It also does not prove that a confirmation screen would solve the problem. Design decisions should combine this pattern with additional evidence constraints and later testing. Keep 3 records separate. Direct evidence is what was said, seen, or counted. An interpretation is what the team thinks that evidence may mean. An open question identifies what is still unknown for participant 3. Direct evidence is that the student opened the group page to check the date. An interpretation is that the student may have felt uncertain about the event information. An open question is whether a clearer date label would have changed the behavior. This separation prevents a reasonable guess from becoming a false fact. The claim users do not trust the technology is too broad. It hides the sample, the situation, and the evidence. A more defensible statement is, in 9 of 14 interviews, students checked information, sought confirmation, or delayed a commitment during first use. Several participants described uncertainty about dates or action status. This suggests that confirmation during first use deserves further study. The revised claim reports the evidence, names the sample, and leaves room for the exception and other explanation. Every coded unit should remain connected to its source. Record a neutral participant label, the interview or response identifier, a page or line location when available, the relevant context, and the code applied. For the campus link case, participant 3 interview transcript, task episode, lines 18 to 20 is more useful than student, quote, traceability lets another researcher check whether a theme represents the original evidence. It also helps the team correct a coding mistake without losing the path back to the source. Remove full names, contact details, exact addresses, workplaces, and other details that could identify a participant. Use labels such as participant 3. Generalize context when exact detail is not needed. For example, replace works at the library desk on 33rd Street with works on campus if the location does not matter to the research question. Keep enough context to interpret the evidence, but do not keep identifying detail simply because it appears in the transcript. An unsafe record might say, Jamie from the library did not trust Campus Link and checked Friday's event. An audited record says, Participant 3 interview task episode, lines 18 to 20. Check the event page after seeing Friday in the app. The interpretation is, may need stronger confirmation of date information. The open question is, would the behavior change if the date included a month or the phrase this Friday? The revised record removes identifying details, preserves the source location, and separates evidence from interpretation.